Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Numbers with Nora. This is just going to be a quick video on a Delta math lesson with Trig word problems. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into it. So our first one is going to be right here. I already worked out the answer for these, so you guys make sure like I'm going to the right place, okay? All right, so for this one, for her eyes, which stands 1.66 meters above the ground, Deandra measures the angle of elevation to the top of a prominent skyscraper to be 70 degrees. If she is standing at a horizontal distance of 276 meters from the base of the skyscraper, what is the height of the skyscraper? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. All right. So the first thing you want to do with these problems is you want to draw, okay, and kind of envision what we have. So let's go ahead and draw Deandra. Okay. It sits there and lets us know that from her eyesight, she stands at 1.66 meters. Okay. Annotate that down. Deborah measures the angle of elevation. Angle of elevation is when you're looking up. Okay. So she's looking up like this. All right. And of course, she's looking at a skyscraper. So it's going to be like just like a building or something like that. Okay. So she's kind of looking like that. Right. So the angle of elevation is going to be right here. And that was set to be 70 degrees. 70 degrees. Okay. Got that annotated in there. If she is standing at a horizontal distance of 276 degrees, so from here to here, that's going to be 276. Okay. Meters. So they want to know what is the height of the skyscraper. Okay. They want to know all of this. For right now, since I'm able to draw a triangle like this, and let's just imagine that's at the very top right here, I'm able to find this height. Okay. So let's go ahead and find that first. I'll mark that as X. And we're given that the base of this triangle is 276. All right. So I have my base. So let's mark up everything. This is a right angle. So this is going to be my height. This is going to be my op, because opposite of the angle that they give me. And then my leftover side, which they give me, is going to be my adjacent. Okay. And in my other videos, I have notes on what our sine, cosine, and tangent mean, right? So I want to deal with something that's going to give me op and adjacent, because I have my adjacent, but I'm trying to find my op. So I want to deal with those two sides. Tan of x is actually going to be op over adjacent. Okay. Op over adjacent. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in what we have for that, right? So I'll plug in tan, and then my degree that's given. So that's how I set up my triangle. That's going to be 70. Equals my op, which is, I don't know what it is, x, over my adjacent, which is 275 or 276. Now I'm just going to use algebra and solve for this, right? If I multiply both sides by 276, that will cancel out. So let me write this. So my variables on my left-hand side, I'll have tan, oops, sorry, because we're multiplying that to 76 by that tan. So 276 times tan of 70. Okay. You sit there and plug this into your calculator. Okay, I'm not going to show any calculator work on here. Right now, if I plug that into my calculator, I'm going to get 758. No, I'm going to get da, 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 7. Actually, let me plug it into my calculator just so I make sure we're getting the right answer here. So 276 times tan of 70. Yep, that was correct. 758.303. But don't forget that we have to add on this other part, right? So I can complete this whole thing because they want to know the whole length of the building, that whole side, right? So I only found this portion right here. Okay. So I have to add it by 1.66. So plus 1.66. So I'm writing a number that. So now if I do that, plus 1.66, I get 759.96, and you would go ahead and round that, okay? So that was my bad. I forgot to add that 1.66. Don't forget to add that extra piece, okay? Because they want to know the whole length of the building, okay? So that's the answer for that one. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. This one's going to be the kind of same thing. So from his eyesight, so let's go ahead and draw Isaac. Okay. And he stands 1.63 meters above the ground. So let's annotate that in our drawing. 3. And then also he has an angle of elevation, right? Okay, and he's also looking at a skyscraper. Remember, angle of elevation is right here. And they say that's going to be 17 degrees. All right. Now the horizontal distance is going to be 294. Okay, so again, from here to here, it's going to be 294. It's not the best drawing, but just a sketch so we can kind of see where we're getting at. And they want to know what is the height of the skyscraper. So this is just like the one we just did, okay? So let's go ahead and set that up. Hold on, let me make sure my camera doesn't stop. Okay. So I notice I have this, and let's set this up again. My 90-degree angle. So I have my height over here. My height side is across from my 90-degree angle. Across from the angle that's given to me, that's my opposite side. Then the leftover side is just my adjacent side, right? So again, I'm going to be using tan because I'm trying to find my op. Okay. So I use that tangent, right? Let me do it over here so it's clear. I'm not writing over words. So I have tan of the angle that's given to me, which is 17 degrees. And that's going to equal my op over adjacent, which is x, over my 294. I multiply both sides by 294, so that will cancel out, and my variable is isolated. So then I have 294 times tan of 17. Okay. And that's going to give me, let me do the calculator. Okay. Sorry, I have my written calculator, or my hand calculator, not my computer one. 294 times tan of 17. Again, if you need help with that calculator work, let me know. I'm going to get 89. And whenever I'm like, I have a long decimal, I always like to write 4 numbers after my decimal point just to make sure I get as close as possible to my answer. Okay. So that's 8, 8, 4. 8848. And don't forget, I just found this portion of the building. I need to still find this portion of the building, which they gave us is right here. So I need to add that on to here. So I add plus 1.63. Okay. So once I sit there and add that on, let's do that. 1.63. I get 9.51, and you guys can go ahead and round that to whatever your Delta math wants you to round it to. Okay. Same answer I got here. Cool. All right. So I'll do one more, and this one's going to be a little bit different. I already did these ones, so if you guys want to sit there and try to do these ones, and I have the work here for them, you can. Just pause the as well. They're very similar to the first and second one I just did. Okay. But I want to do one with the angle of depression. Now, when we talk about an angle depression, that just means that a person is looking down. Okay. So let's go ahead and do one like that. So for this one, we're going to have from the observation desk of a skyscraper. So we have a skyscraper. Okay. And we have a little person inside the skyscraper checking things out. Okay. Brandon measures at a 45-degree angle of depression. So which means he's looking down. Okay. And he's at the top of the skyscraper looking down. Okay. To a ship in the harbor. Okay. We can draw a little ship if we want. Okay. If the observation deck is 140 feet high, so that means from, yeah, right here, 1, 1, 4, 1. Yep, awesome. Okay, so it's 1,140 feet high. What is the horizontal distance from the base? So we want to find the base, how far? Okay, that's what we want to find. And they told us our angle of depression is going to be 45 degrees. Actually, let me draw this a little bit differently. My apologies. So we have him in the building. Doop, doop, doop. And then this is going out that way. And like I said, an angle of depression, so he's looking down like that. That looks a lot better. And then we have the ship. Okay. So now I still know this is 1,140. And I don't know how far across, which I can measure up here or down here. I'll just put it up here because we have our triangle up here. And then our angle of depression right here is going to be 45. That looks a lot better. 45 degrees. Okay. Now we can go ahead and see what we're going to use. So this is my 90-degree angle. If I look across, this is going to be my height. Opposite from here, this is going to be an op. So it's opposite from my angle of depression. And this will be my adjacent. So again, we're going to use tangent because I'm looking for my adjacent. And I have my op. Okay. So I'll have tan of 45 degrees. It's going to be equal to 144 or 1,140 divided by my x or my adjacent. I can multiply both sides by x. That x will cancel out. So then I'll have x tan. I'm just showing every single step so you guys don't get confused. 35 equals 1,140. Now, again, I want to isolate that x to do so. I sit there and divide both sides by tan of 45, right? Because when I do that, that tan of 45 will cancel out on this side and we'll leave my variable all by itself, which I want. So tan 45, again, divide tan 45. Oops, sorry. So those cancel out. Then I get x equals, I'm just going to go ahead and do that in my calculator really quick. That's going to equal 1,140, okay, which is the correct answer. Okay. And that's how you do angle of depression. It's kind of weird to draw out the angle of depression because you have to imagine somebody's kind of looking down and you want to sit there and take this angle right here. Okay. Okay. So if you guys have any questions on any more trig word problems or any Delta math homework that you need help with, go ahead and hit me up in the comments and I can help you out with that. Thanks, you guys.